Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Rome to attend G20 summit beginning tomorrow. To hold joint meeting with Presidents of European Council and European Commission and bilateral meeting with his Italian counterpart Mario Draghi. India to highlight the need to address climate change issues comprehensively at COP26 World Leaders Summit, says Prime Minister. Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah launches BJP's membership drive in Lucknow to also discuss party's strategy for upcoming assembly elections. All preparations in place for smooth conduct of by-election for 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 assembly seats tomorrow. Over 104 crore 85 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. International Internet Day is being observed today. Bangladesh High Court orders judicial probe into the recent incidents of communal violence in 6 districts of Bangladesh during Durga Puja. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh to take on West Indies in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. and Pakistan to play with Afghanistan in Dubai at 7:30 p.m. today. As India created history by administering 100 crore vaccine doses against COVID-19, All India Radio salutes all the doctors, nurses, other frontline workers and all those who got vaccinated and made this possible. Even though the country has achieved this feat, we caution our listeners that the battle against COVID is not yet over. We appeal to our listeners to get fully vaccinated at the earliest and also help others get vaccinated. During the festival season, please follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today reached Rome to attend the 16th G20 summit. Mr. Modi was received by senior officials of the Government of Italy and Ambassador of India in Italy. He will participate in the G20 summit beginning tomorrow at the invitation of Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi. The summit will be attended by heads of state of G20 member countries, the European Union and other invited countries and international organizations. It will be centered around the theme People, Planet, Prosperity. It focuses on the areas of recovery from the pandemic and strengthening of global health governance, economic recovery and resilience, climate change and energy transition, and sustainable development and food security. The Prime Minister will also hold several bilateral meetings with the heads of different states. We have with us our correspondent Divakar, who is in Rome to cover the Prime Minister's visit. Divakar, could you tell us about the engagements of the Prime Minister today?
Well, Valsa, Mr. Modi will hold a joint meeting with the President of European Council and President of European Commission today. He will then pay floral tribute to the bust of Mahatma Gandhi in the city. In the evening, Prime Minister Modi will hold a bilateral meeting with Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi. A meeting with certain community members is also scheduled in the evening, and tomorrow the Prime Minister will call on Pope Francis at Vatican City.
Right, Divakar, what are the areas which the G20 summit will focus on this year, and how significant is the summit considering the COVID pandemic?
Valsa, this year the thrust of the G20 summit will be on economic and health recovery, climate change and sustainable development. The summit is very significant as India has been a strong advocate in the G20 for supporting equitable and affordable access to COVID-19 disease control tools, including vaccines. The G20 has responded effectively to the COVID crisis, and during this period it has emerged as not only the premier global forum for international economic cooperation, but also as an important platform to exchange, innovate and deliberate on policy issues and that have a direct and tangible impact on the quality of life of the people. It represents approximately 80% of world's GDP, 75% of global trade and 60% of world's population. And as a founding member of the G20, India has always been a proactive and positive player in its process, speaking not only for itself but also for the larger developing world. Valsa.
Right, thank you, Divakar, for that update. During the second leg of his visit, Prime Minister Modi will leave for Glasgow to attend the World Leaders Summit of the 26th Conference of Parties COP26 to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The high-level segment of COP26 will be held on the 1st and 2nd of next month. It will be attended by heads of state of more than 120 countries. Another important event there will be the launch of Global Green Grids Initiative under the vision of One Sun, One World, One Grid. Besides, Mr. Modi, along with his Australian and UK Prime Ministers, will launch a new initiative for infrastructure for resilient island states. It is aimed at creating a coalition for putting in place infrastructure that can withstand disasters and lessen economic losses in island nations. Several bilateral meetings are also in the pipeline on the sidelines of COP26, including with UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson.
In his departure statement, the Prime Minister said that he will highlight the need to comprehensively address climate change issues, including equitable distribution of carbon space and the importance of sustainable lifestyles for green and inclusive growth at the World Leaders Summit during COP26. Mr. Modi said COP26 summit will also provide an opportunity to meet with all the stakeholders, including leaders of partner countries, innovators and intergovernmental organizations, and explore the possibilities for further accelerating clean growth. He said in line with the Indian tradition of living in harmony with nature and culture, of deep respect for the planet, India is taking ambitious actions on expanding clean and renewable energy efficiency, afforestation and biodiversity. He added that today India is creating new records in collective effort for climate adaptation, mitigation and resilience and forging multilateral alliances. India is among the top countries in the world in terms of installed renewable energy, wind and solar energy capacity. Mr. Modi said he will share India's excellent track record on climate action and achievements in the World Leaders Summit. Prime Minister said this first in-person summit of the G20 since the outbreak of the pandemic in 2020 will allow them to take stock of the current global situation and exchange ideas on how the G20 can be an engine for strengthening economic resilience and building back inclusively and sustainably from the pandemic. Last year, the Prime Minister said in his address during Climate Ambition Summit that India has reduced its emission intensity by 21% over the 2005 levels. The Prime Minister had said India has an even more ambitious target of 450 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. The Prime Minister said by 2047, Centennial India will exceed the world's expectations in implementing actions to counter climate change.
India is not only on track to achieve its Paris Agreement targets, but to exceed them beyond expectations. We have reduced our emission intensity by 21% over 2005 levels. Our solar capacity has grown from 2.63 gigawatts in 2014 to 36 gigawatts in 2020. Our renewable energy capacity is the fourth largest in the world.
President Ramnath Kovind today reached Bhavnagar on the second day of his three-day visit to Gujarat. He was received by Governor Acharya Devvrat and State Education Minister Jitubhai Waghani at Bhavnagar Airport this morning. From Bhavnagar Airport, President Kovind went to Talgajarda village by helicopter, where he was received by Sant Murari Bapu. More from our correspondent.
At present, President is visiting Chitrakoot Dham Ashram of Sant Murari Bapu in Talgajarda village. He gets the information about the various social and cultural activities at the Chitrakoot Dham Ashram. Later this evening, President Ramnath Kovind will inaugurate the housing scheme project for economically weaker sections in Bhavnagar. 1,088 affordable homes have been built at the cost of Rs 63 crore under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah today launched the poll campaign for BJP in the state and said his party's government in UP has fulfilled at least 90% of the promises made in our manifesto, and in the upcoming elections, BJP is going to cross 300 seats this time under the leadership of Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Launching the Bharatiya Janata Party's membership campaign for the state in Lucknow, Mr. Shah, hitting hard on the opposition parties, said that BJP government in UP has proved that governments do not work for a family but for the poorest people of the state.
मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में योगी आदित्यनाथ ने जो सरकार चलाई, वो सरकार यूपी के हर गरीब गुरबे के लिए चली है, यूपी के युवा के लिए चली है, यूपी के महिला, दलित, पिछड़े और आदिवासियों के लिए चली है। मित्रों, ये परिवर्तन 2017 में आए, 2014 में परिवर्तन की शुरुआत हुई, उस वक्त में यूपी भाजपा का इंचार्ज था। 2017 में राज्य सरकार बनी, तब मैं राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष के रूप में यहाँ डेरा डाला हुआ था, और 2019 में फिर से मोदी जी को हम सब ने प्रचंड बहुमत से प्रधानमंत्री बनाया, तब भी मैं राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष। मैंने तीनों चुनावों को देखा है, हर चुनाव में हमने सदस्यता शुरू करी थी। आज भी ये चौथा चुनाव है, 2022 के चुनाव का श्रीगणेश आज की सदस्यता अभियान से हम शुरू करें।
Our correspondent has filed this report.
BJP started its membership campaign for the state with this function. The campaign was launched as Mera Parivar, Bhajpa Parivar, and anyone can become member of the party by giving missed call to a certain number. BJP currently has 1,86 lakh members in the state. On this occasion, Amit Shah flagged off the LED campaign vehicles to various districts and addressed conveners and in charge of Shakti Kendra from Awadh region. Union Education Minister and BJP in charge for elections in state Dharmendra Pradhan, along with state BJP head Swatantra Dev Singh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and other ministers were present in the function. Minister of INB and co-in charge of BJP for upcoming elections, Anurag Singh Thakur, was also present on the dais. Later, Amit Shah will address the senior workers of the party at Indira Gandhi Pratishthan. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
All preparations are in place for voting tomorrow for by-polls in 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 Assembly seats in 14 states. Lok Sabha by-polls will be held for Khandwa Parliamentary Constituency in Madhya Pradesh, Mandi in Himachal Pradesh and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. The by-elections for Assembly seats will be held in 14 states including Assam, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka, Haryana and Maharashtra. In Assam, by-election is being held for 5 assembly seats. The election machinery has completed all arrangements for conduct of elections in a free, fair and safe manner. A total of 31 candidates are in the fray. Webcasting will be done from all the 1,176 polling stations. Half section of Central Armed Police Forces is deployed at each polling station location for security measures to ensure a conducive atmosphere for the smooth conduct of election. In the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic, each and every polling station has been sanitized and facility for thermal scanning, hand sanitizers, face masks are also made available at the polling stations.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Rome to attend G20 summit beginning tomorrow, to hold joint meeting with presidents of European Council and European Commission and bilateral meeting with his Italian counterpart Mario Draghi. India to highlight the need to address climate change issues comprehensively at COP26 World Leaders Summit, says Prime Minister. Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah launches BJP's membership drive in Lucknow to also discuss party strategy for the upcoming assembly elections. All preparations in place for smooth conduct of by-election for 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 assembly seats tomorrow. Over 104 crore 85 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. International Internet Day is being observed today. Bangladesh High Court orders judicial probe into the recent incidents of communal violence in 6 districts of Bangladesh during Durga Puja. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh to take on West Indies in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. and Pakistan to play with Afghanistan in Dubai at 7:30 p.m. today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
स्वाधीनता आंदोलन के दौरान भारतीय जनमानस को उद्वेलित कर स्वतंत्रता का अलख जगाने और मातृभूमि के प्रति सेवा, समर्पण और त्याग की ज्वाला प्रज्वलित कर देने वाले अमर गीतों पर आधारित विशेष कार्यक्रम आजादी के तराने सुनना न भूलें। FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर प्रत्येक शुक्रवार शाम 4:45 पर परिक्रमा कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत आजादी के तराने सिर्फ आकाशवाणी पर।
Welcome back to the Midday News. India has administered over 104 crore 85 lakh doses of COVID vaccine so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry said more than 74 lakh 33,000 vaccine doses were administered in the last 24 hours. 13,198 COVID patients recovered during the last 24 hours and the national recovery rate stands at 98.19%. The country reported 14,348 new cases in the last 24 hours. Currently, India's active caseload is around 1,61,000. The active cases constitute less than 1% of the total cases and it is currently at 0.47%, the lowest. Raj Bommai has refuted the allegations made by the leader of the opposition Siddaramaiah that the state government is trying to protect the accused allegedly involved in the dark website hacking, illegal Bitcoin transaction and money laundering. Speaking to media persons in Bengaluru today, the Chief Minister said the accused Sri Krishna and his accomplice were not only arrested by his government, but the case was referred to the ED, CBI, Interpol and the state CID. A charge sheet is also filed against them. The Chief Minister accused the Congress of making false allegations and said that during the previous government led by Congress, no action was taken against Sri Krishna in the drug peddling case.
Our BJP government has booked the case way back in 2020 and we have investigation, 3 cases against him regarding hacking has been charge sheeted and it is further referred to ED and Interpol branch of CBI. So which is we have referred it. So there is nothing there to hide. And I have waged a war on drugs, bitcoins and all these online gaming. There are a lot of skeletons in the cupboard. As the investigation comes out, proofs will come out.
The Chief Minister has said that his government is waging a war against drugs and has the record of making the highest seizure of contraband drugs.
The Bangladesh High Court has ordered a judicial probe into the recent incidents of communal violence in 6 districts of Bangladesh which started on the 13th of October in the last days of Durga Puja. In its order issued yesterday, the court asked the judicial magistrates of Rangpur, Kamila, Chattogram, Feni, Chandpur and Noakhali to probe the incidents of communal violence and submit the report within 60 days, reports the official news agency BSS. The High Court also asked the concerned authorities to explain as to why it should not declare as illegal the inaction of local administration to ensure security of the victims. Bangladesh witnessed vandalism against temples and attacks on minority Hindu community, homes and business establishments across several places following a reported desecration of the Holy Quran inside a puja mandap in Kamila. Subsequently, police arrested one Iqbal Hussain who confessed to have done the act of desecration inside the mandap. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. News Services Division of All India Radio everyday broadcasts special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle. Let us listen to the 75th episode of this program today.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. India's glorious fight for freedom is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the valiant struggle every day.
29th October is the death anniversary of the great freedom fighter and social activist Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay. She passed away in 1988 in Mumbai at the age of 85, greatly inspired by Gandhian ideals and the concept of non-violence. Kamla Devi joined the Gandhian organization Seva Dal after her return from England, where she studied at the University of London and received a diploma in sociology.
She enrolled herself in the nationalist struggle as a member of the Congress Party. Kamla Devi was charged with the violation of the salt laws and was sentenced to a prison term. She captured the nation's attention when, in a scuffle over the Congress flag, she clung to it tenaciously.
Kamla Devi became the president of the All India Women's Conference in 1936. She was a great author, and her first writings on the rights of women in India date back to 1929. One of her last books, Indian Women's Battle for Freedom, was published in 1982. Kamla Devi is credited with reviving Indian handicrafts and handlooms. She stressed the significant role which handicrafts and cooperative grassroots movements play in the social and economic upliftment of the people.
Kamla Devi is known as Hatkargha Ma for her works in the handloom sector. She nurtured several national institutions promoting drama, art, theatre, music and puppetry. Kamla Devi set up the Indian National Theatre in 1944, what is today known as the National School of Drama. In 1974, she was awarded the Sangeet Natak Academy Fellowship, the highest honour conferred by the Sangeet Natak Academy. She was conferred with Padma Bhushan in 1955 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1987.
Also on 29th October in the year 1920, a premier institute of the country, Jamia Millia Islamia, was formed. Responding to Gandhiji's call to boycott all educational institutions supported or run by the colonial regime, a group of nationalist teachers and students quit Aligarh Muslim University, protesting against its pro-British inclinations, and laid the foundation of Jamia Institute.
The prominent members of this movement were Maulana Mahmud Hassan, Maulana Muhammad Ali, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad Ansari, and Abdul Majid Khwaja. The known freedom fighter and Muslim theologian Maulana Mahmud Hassan laid the foundation stone of Jamia Millia Islamia at Aligarh on Friday, the 29th of October 1920.
On 22nd of November 1920, Hakim Ajmal Khan was elected as the first Chancellor of Jamia. Muhammad Ali Johar became its first Vice-Chancellor.
Jamia participated in the Bardoli Resolution and sent volunteers across the country to motivate people to fight for the freedom of the country. The colonial British government soon imprisoned many of its teachers and students. In 1922, Gandhiji called off the non-cooperation movement and Mustafa Kemal Ataturk declared the end of the Khilafat in 1924.
Suddenly, Jamia saw itself in a great crisis. The little financial assistance that the Khilafat had been giving it also dried up, and even prominent people started deserting it. At this time, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Dr. Mukhtar Ahmad Ansari, and Abdul Majid Khwaja, the first trio, supported by Gandhiji, shifted Jamia from Aligarh to Karol Bagh in New Delhi in 1925. Gandhiji boosted the morale of Jamia, saying,
"The Jamia has to run. If you are worried about its finances, I will go about with a begging bowl."
On 1st of March 1935, the foundation stone for a school building was laid at Okhla, a village in the southern outskirts of Delhi. In 1936, all institutions of Jamia were shifted to the new campus. In 1988, by a special act of the Parliament, Jamia Millia Islamia was made a central university. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Back to the news. Union Minister for Minority Affairs Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has said that Hunar Haat has become a credible platform to strengthen Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call for Swadeshi Swavalamban and vocal for local, and providing a market to indigenous products of traditional artisans and craftsmen. Mr. Naqvi was speaking at the inauguration of Hunar Haat in Dehradun this afternoon. Mr. Naqvi said a large number of artisans, craftsmen and people associated with them have been provided employment. International Internet Day is being observed today. It is marked on the 29th of October every year. The day commemorates the anniversary of the first message that was sent between two computers on the 29th of October 1969 through ARPANET, the predecessor of the Internet. Since then, technology has become an indispensable part of our lives. The Internet has affected our lives in both positive and negative way. According to media reports, as of January 2021, there were 4.66 billion active Internet users worldwide, which is 59.5% of the global population. Social media giant Facebook is changing its name to Meta as part of a rebrand meant to highlight the company's new focus on developing the metaverse. Facebook's chief executive officer Mark Zuckerberg said now they are going to be metaverse first, not Facebook first.
In T20 Cricket World Cup today, Bangladesh will take on West Indies in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. while Pakistan will play against Afghanistan in Dubai at 7:30 p.m. Yesterday, Australia beat Sri Lanka by 7 wickets in Dubai. Last night, Australia achieved the target of 155 runs in 17 overs for the loss of 3 wickets. With this, Australia now have secured 2 wins in a row. They will now face England on Saturday. All India Radio is broadcasting the ball-by-ball commentary on the matches. Now let us take a look on the weather today. The national capital, Delhi, is having mainly clear skies. Mumbai is also having mainly clear sky. Chennai is expected to have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Kolkata is expected to have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Hyderabad is expected to have partly cloudy sky with haze. Bangalore will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Thiruvananthapuram will witness generally cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder showers. Guwahati is having mainly clear sky. Imphal and Aizawl are having partly cloudy sky with the possibility of developing of thunder lighting. Kohima, Shillong and Itanagar will have a partly cloudy sky. Gangtok will have a mainly clear sky becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening, and Agartala is having fog or mist in the morning and partly cloudy skies later.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaches Rome to attend a G20 summit beginning tomorrow to hold a joint meeting with presidents of European Council and European Commission and bilateral meeting with his Italian counterpart Mario Draghi. India to highlight the need to address climate change issues comprehensively at COP26 World Leaders Summit, says Prime Minister. Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah launches BJP's membership drive in Lucknow to also discuss party's strategy for upcoming assembly elections. All preparations in place for smooth conduct of by-election for 3 Lok Sabha seats and 30 assembly seats tomorrow. Over 104 crore 85 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 98.19%. International Internet Day being observed today. Bangladesh High Court orders judicial probe into the recent incidents of communal violence in 6 districts of the country during Durga Puja. And in T20 Cricket World Cup, Bangladesh to take on West Indies in Sharjah at 3:30 p.m. and Pakistan to play Afghanistan in Dubai at 7:30 p.m. today. And with that, we end the midday news.